The Morgokai were a secret society of Nikto warriors who were known for their unique and deadly combat techniques, as well as holding a deep hatred for Force users. The Separatists eventually took notice of these incredibly strong warriors and began to clone them for use during the war. So why were the Separatists so interested in cloning the Morgokai to defeat the clone army? I'm going to break down the full story of the Morgokai and why the Separatists believed that they could use them as a secret weapon to defeat the Republic. Before we get into it, make sure to hit the subscribe button for more awesome Star Wars lore content. The secret Morgokai cult formed on the planet Kintan as one of the most well-hidden groups in the Nikto culture. The group was made up of fierce warriors who came together to share their combat techniques and their strong hatred and suspicion of Force users. Many rumors spread throughout the galaxy about how this group were vicious Jedi killers despite their secretive nature. And of course, they were right, but inside of their cult, they had no love for the Sith Order either. Despite disliking the Sith, Dooku and the Separatists believed that their pure hatred of the Jedi would outweigh this and make them the perfect hosts for the Separatist clone army. The entire Morgokai cult were completely able to look past good and evil, as well as the light and dark, as long as their own honor and loyalty remained strong. Even under the threat of death, the members of the cult remained so strong-minded that they would never reveal their allegiance to the Morgokai. According to the code of their order, the only way to leave the group was to surrender their armor to one of their brothers and to step onto the Burning Moon Range, which was a group of 7 active volcanic mountains on the Nikto homeworld. They would not be released from the order unless they experienced the extreme pain and suffering of the fiery volcanic shorelines. Almost no member of the cult ever survived this brutal ritual. Even if a member of the cult went through this rigorous ritual, they were still considered by their brothers to have committed the most unspeakable crime. Interestingly, the entire cult was only made up of male members of the Nikto species and were unable to speak about their group or traditions to any female members of the species. The training system inside of the Morgokai cult was very similar to how the Jedi ran their training system, with almost all new members of the group being assigned to a master to be trained. Many times, the members of the cult would train their own sons, hoping to pass down the warrior tradition through their bloodline, while keeping the group as secretive and small as possible. Their immense and grueling training allowed them to match the combat and fighting abilities of many members of the Jedi Order, even those who gained the rank of Jedi Knight. All Morgokai initiates were also required to build their own unique and customized Cortosis staff in order to directly combat members of the Jedi Order. These staves were basically lightsabers in reverse, with a meter-long hilt laced with a small tip of Cortosis at the top. Cortosis was a mineral that was naturally resistant to lightsaber blades, so it made for a perfect counter against the standard weapon of every member of the Jedi Order. On top of this, the Morgokai cult were known to have possession of extremely mysterious weapons and armor that even the Jedi Knights held a deep fear for. These of course included a large array of weapons and armor carefully constructed out of the very rare Cortosis ore, directly protecting themselves from lightsaber combat. Unfortunately for the newer members of the cult, the Cortosis weave armor that would protect them from the Jedi attacks was only able to be worn by elite members of the Order who had shown their immense mental and physical strength. Although the Nikto species were naturally resistant to Jedi mind tricks, the Morgokai cult put its members through harsh mental exercises in order to strengthen their resistance to the Jedi tricks. But let me know down below if you think these guys could beat the clones of Jango Fett if they were able to be produced as consistently as the clones on Kamino. They certainly are incredibly powerful in both combat and strategy, so I think it would be a very interesting matchup. In the years leading up to the Clone Wars, the Morgokai cult was long thought to have been extinct. By the time the Separatist crisis broke out, they were on the verge of totally vanishing from the galaxy, but almost nothing was known about the rich history of the group by anyone outside of their own. Even the Jedi archives contained only very few pieces of information about the group, but the Jedi couldn't even confirm this information to be true. The Morgokai made their activities known to the galaxy for the first time in many years when a master and apprentice, who were also father and son, named Saya and Bok, began a plot against Clan Sakura on Ryloth, which of course Aayla Secura was a member of. During the plot against the clan, Aayla Secura's master, Quinlan Vos, was able to defend his apprentice, killing the Morgokai father and cleanly slicing the hand of the son off. After this shocking ordeal, Bok was left as one of the last remaining Morgokai in the galaxy and was desperate to continue his cult's sacred and ancient traditions. Shortly after, during the Clone Wars, the Separatists led by Count Dooku offered Bok the chance to resurrect his ancient order, but on one condition. He was required to become the genetic template for a new clone army, which would be used by the Separatists alongside their already existing hordes of battle droids on the front lines of the Clone Wars. Bok really had no choice but to agree to this offer if he wanted to continue the traditions of his ancient cult, so he submitted himself as the template for the new Separatist clone army. Instead of using Kamino for the cloning process, which was home to the absolute best cloners in the galaxy, the Separatists used the planet Saleucami to clone Bok. The Separatists then slowly built up their new Morgokai army on Seleucami in secret, with thousands of clones being created until Jedi Master Thulm, who was the master of Quinlan Vos, came across the secret production on the planet. Once he discovered this shocking revelation, he immediately reported his findings to the Jedi Council, who very quickly moved to blockade Seleucami, beginning what would later be called the Siege of Seleucami. The siege dragged on for months, as every single attack from the Grand Army of the Republic was met with fierce resistance from the Morgokai clone army, along with the droid reinforcements that were aiding them. Jedi Master Thulm was personally deployed to the planet, where he was tasked with sabotaging the cloning facilities to ensure that no new clones were created. While there, Master Thulm absolutely decimated the cloning facilities and slaughtered many of the unborn Nikto clones while they were being created. Let me know down below how you feel about this Jedi Master destroying clones that hadn't been fully grown yet. Eventually, however, the strength of the Separatist alliance was not enough to hold back the Republic, as almost every single Morgokai clone was killed during the siege, including the genetic template Bok. Even with the cloning facilities destroyed and the Republic clearly dominating against the Separatist forces on Seleucami, the battle dragged on all the way to the final days of the Clone Wars, leaving Stas Ali and Commander Neo to lead operations there, which we saw in Revenge of the Sith. Shortly after this, the dark call for Order 66 was given to the clone troopers on Seleucami and every other battlefield throughout the galaxy, which turned the clones against their Jedi generals and set the stage for the creation of the Empire. Very shortly after the declaration of the New Order, the Morgokai religion was marked as illegal by Emperor Palpatine, and it was punishable by death to be a member of the cult, just like the Jedi Order. The few surviving Morgokai went into a deep, isolated hiding to protect themselves from the wrath of the Empire, not showing up again until one was tracked down and killed by Darth Vader as he attended a meeting of surviving Jedi on Kessel after Order 66. Despite being a member of the Morgokai as a young man, he left the Order and was forced to walk through the burning Moon Range, which nobody before him had ever survived. Surprisingly, he made it out of the treacherous range alive and was cast out of the Morgokai for the disgusting action of leaving before joining the Jedi Order. He also made an appearance in Revenge of the Sith and the Clone Wars Season 2 before that, and also an appearance in the Night Sisters Clone Wars episode, but unfortunately he was relegated to the deleted scenes in that one. Let me know if you want me to cover the story of the Jedi who were confronted by Darth Vader on Kessel after Order 66, because that is a great and tragic story. If you also want to hear more about this Nikto Jedi, I'll make a video on that because his story is also pretty interesting from his early life onwards. So just make sure to tell me down below. But again, let me know what you guys think about the Morgokai. So that is the story of the Morgokai, the ancient group of Nikto warriors who were used as clones by the Separatist Alliance at the Siege of Seleucami. Let me know down below what you think of these Nikto clones and if you think they stood a chance against the Republic. Thanks so much for watching, really hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit the bell icon to be notified when I release more awesome Star Wars lore content like this. Cheers guys, hope to see you in the next one.